basically, let's start off with from the beginning. When did you start your process?
Okay, I started. Okay, I'm not remember the date exactly, but it was last year should be June, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So it was last year in June, and then they sent me the contract, and then I didn't sign it because I lost almost everything. I lost my phone, I lost everything. So I was kind of like really. I was really running out of time because they told me that like the contract usually expires.
Yeah.
So yes, so I was kind of like behind until I had to find another phone to reach out, and I think that's when I reached out to you as well.
Yeah, just to say, hey, that I started my process last year, but then I lost everything, so I couldn't sort of like, you couldn't. Did you sort of have to resubmit through us, or did we just? I can't remember how your process went because there's so many candidates that you work with.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I went online myself because this are the time I was actually checking on the USA agencies. That's when I saw the Connexus Med stuff, and I just thought of trying it out.
Yeah.
So that's when they reached out to me.
Oh, okay. And how did you find the predictor test? Basically, how did you prepare for it, and how did you find it?
Okay, so the predictor test for somebody from Malawi is tough. Literally tough.
Why do you say
that? Because, so it's tough because most conditions that are that side and the conditions that are this side, it's really different. Like, you just learn them in class, let's say maybe just in class theory, but then we never meet them like in practice. Okay. So now when it comes to the predictor test, the Malawian nursing setup itself, when you look at it, like, even again, like with the things that you actually meet on the predictor test, it's actually difficult. Because I even remember, like, I had a friend, she also wrote the predictor test, and unfortunately she failed. Okay. And actually she failed bad because it was really, really tough. It's really tough.
Okay. And she didn't try again?
I don't know, but then I thought maybe she was given, I don't know, maybe just one chance. I don't know. Maybe you can help her out. I don't know. I have no idea
we always happy to have a conversation, see how far she went, what did she find difficult, and how we can basically help her. So that is not an issue. So basically, you managed to pass your predictor test, and then
I did. I passed that one.
Yeah, and then what did you do next? Just after the predictor test, you passed it. They gave you the results that you passed, and then you had to go for an interview.
Yeah, so after that, after passing the predictor test, that's when I did the oral interviews, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, from there, then that's when I had the signing of the contract.
Do you remember much from the interview? Do you remember much? How it went? What were you asked? Do you remember much from it?
I think it was just general questions, like the general nursing duties. Yeah. Like, for example, let's say maybe there's a patient, you're like taking care of a patient, and then that patient, you can no longer hear the pulse, what's next, Then you start explaining the CPR, you do the CPR, you do whatever. It was just the general nursing stuff.
Okay. So nothing that you found challenging or that you think people should sort of be, I don't want to say afraid of, but, that they may find challenging in the interview.
No.
Nothing.
With the oral interviews, actually, it was actually fun.
Yeah.
It was actually because those guys, like, they were so welcoming. And sometimes let's say that you actually fail maybe to answer one of the questions.
Yeah.
They would actually direct you to how, like, you're supposed to answer it.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was really nice. Yeah. Actually, more easier than the predictor test.
Yeah, no, I can concur because a lot of people are saying that the predictor test is difficult. And
very, very tough.
Yeah, if you do pass. Were you interviewed by one person or two people, or how did the interview go?
I think it was one person.
Only one person.
And it was a she. I don't remember her name. It was a lady.
Yeah. Usually just trying to get if it's the same for other candidates as well. Usually they will just be interviewed by one person, they'll get general questions about nursing care, and then they'll get one scenario, and, they'll just ask about your background, what are you working. the facility that you are working at the moment. So just trying to get the background to see if you also got the same thing. And you signed your contract. How long did it take from the time that you signed your contract before you started with your classes?
Okay, it didn't take long. It didn't take long because I signed it should be in December also, between December and November.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in January, that's when I received an email from, should be Brittany, the Kapu student coordinator, and then she was like, okay, we were supposed to start end January.
Yeah.
But then because they wanted to put like a lot of nurses in the different cohorts.
Yeah.
So they had to push it to early February because they were trying like to put a lot of people on us. But then it didn't take that long. No, it wasn't. Actually, I think I was actually the one who was delaying, but then not the process.
You didn't lose your phone again, did you, this time?
No, I didn't. I make sure that I keep it.
All right. Okay. No worries. And in terms of signing the contract, anything that you can share without giving too much away, in case of, nothing that you should not, but is there anything that you could perhaps share that might be important for other nurses to know, just what to anticipate and so forth when it comes to signing of the contract and the terms and conditions?
Okay, so when it comes to signing the contract, I'm going to start with the challenge that I faced.
Yeah.
So since it's signed on you sign, is it you sign here?
Yeah, you sign here.
Yeah, so the challenge that I faced was, I think my you sign here wasn't working properly. I really don't remember what happened, but then I kind of like delayed a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I'm going to say basically that was just the only challenge until they had to resend it again. So they told me to check my spam and all that. So until I checked my spam, that's when I found the document. Then I read it through. Then I just signed it.
Okay. So no challenges at all. And are there any commitments that you have to do? Obviously, you have to attend classes. It's just with regards to your current, your employment, and then obviously the classes that you have to attend. How are you maneuvering the two, and so sort of like how you're approaching that?
Okay, so with me, actually, I just want to thank God because it was actually a blessing in disguise.
Okay.
Because so I was working, and then my contract ended in December.
Oh, sorry.
I was working at the government hospital. Okay. So my contract ended there. So they had to extend it a little bit, but then still it ended. So it happened that whilst the contract is ending, that's when the classes were starting.
Okay.
So it was that's what I'm saying. It was a blessing in disguise somehow because my work was too involving. I think I wouldn't have had time to attend the classes, but then because I wasn't working anymore, and I was actually planning to take some part-time jobs, but then I just told myself that, okay, I think I should finish the classes first.
Yeah.
And then I can get the part-time jobs.
Yeah.
So actually for me, it wasn't really, really difficult, except maybe the electricity cutouts. Maybe that's the challenge that I had. That, maybe like you're using your laptop and then, the electricity goes out and then the battery goes flat and then now like you're stuck.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the challenge that I had. But then everything else was just okay because I wasn't working. But then had it been that I was working, I really don't know how I was going to do that because the timing, because I think in Philippines it's 1:30 p.m.
Yeah. In Malawi time?
You come here now. That 1:30 p.m. this side it's 7:30 a.m. Of which now when you compare 7:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. 7:30 that's when we start work. You see?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know how the nesting thing is that you actually don't get a break until 12:30. So actually 12:30 that's when the classes end.
Yeah.
So I think it would have been really, really, really challenging because actually what I've noticed is, of course, they do send the replays. But then there are some mentors, which type like everything that they're explaining on the chat box.
Yeah.
So on the replay, they don't show the chat box.
Oh, okay. So you lose out on some details.
Now, yeah. So it's like actually you lose a lot of information because I remember I think I missed 3 classes or so because of the power cut.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing the replays now, it's very, very difficult because one mentor will be like, okay, I'm going to type in the chat box. So I can't see the chat box. What's there? It means like I've missed. You see?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I think my next question is just around the classes. Obviously, there is a commitment that you have towards Connexus in terms of classes.
Yeah.
Can you touch on that a little bit? Can you just touch on that a little bit? If you can just discuss that, sort of like, what for the next nurses, what must they expect in terms of commitment? Because some of them are wondering, can I still work my full-time job and do the classes with Connexus? Sort of like, what are the if you can just touch on that a little bit, as in like, what are the commitments from their side? What is expected of the nurse? How many hours a day must you sort of like set aside for the classes? And what is the commitment that you have to sort of put in?
Yeah. Okay. So the classes usually they start from 7:30 to 12:30. Yeah. And if the mentor actually knows that she's going to take a lot of time, so actually it depends on the mentor. The other mentor would be like, okay, we are not going to go forward. I think we're just going to reschedule for us to finish. But then the other mentors would be like, no, let's just continue. So maybe sometimes we'd finish at 2:00. So I think I would just say it just, okay, I think it's really difficult, but then, you just have to be committed, because if you don't do the classes, I don't think there's a chance of passing the education.
So you said it starts it's 7:30 up to
12:30, like in Malawian time. But then if it's Philippine time, that's 1:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m.
Okay, so roundabout you have to sort of like sacrifice around about 5 hours the day?
Yeah,
so,
5 hours.
Commit, sorry, not sacrifice, but commit 5 hours. Is that daily or is that like Monday to Friday or?
No, it's actually from Tuesday to Friday.
Tuesday to Friday. So you have to do all this.
Yeah, but then the good thing is they always send replays. But then maybe the challenge would be like the chat box, but like what I was saying. Yeah. But then, sometimes, I don't know, maybe because of the time differences, but then, let's say maybe like you are working, maybe like in the wards, let's say, for example, maybe you can have maybe tea break, maybe from 10 to something, maybe just that 15 minutes, maybe you can sneak out, just try to listen something. And then you go back again. But then, maybe because of the time difference, maybe it would be easier for those like whose time maybe matches maybe after work. But then for those who go to work, I would just say they just have to catch up. Like they really just have to catch up a lot.
Oh, okay. I think next question is just with regards to just lost my train of thought there. But I think my next question was with regards to few nurses are asking, do I have to complete the English test after this? What comes obviously while I'm doing that? Am I doing different subjects? What is NCLEX? Sort of like what are these classes?
Okay, so actually after the classes, so the program like which they explained was after the classes, we are supposed to do the I can suggest that it's actually a combined thing, because the moment you're doing the classes, at the same time you're supposed to apply for the Texas Nurses Board, and then that said again there's an exam. But then the good thing is that with that exam they actually give you a resource list, so it's answering whilst you're seeing the answers. You just have to pass it.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah, so at least that one.
So that is for the board.
And then from there, now you have to register with the CG So the Connexus team actually help you out with that. So it's just a matter of you just completing it up, and then add Connexus as the authorized agency there. So they'll send you all the documents that are needed for you to send to your school and to the and to the licensing board in the country. Yeah. So all these things are happening whilst you're doing the classes.
While you're doing the classes. Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
And
so So after that, you have to do the fingerprints with the Idenko. So the Connexus team actually send the fingerprints. Okay. So you do that. So it's a matter of you paying for sending the fingerprints back to Idenko and for the certificates and everything. But then the good thing is they say they usually refund it upon reaching the USA. So I think it's fine. Okay. From there now, that's when like you have to book a date for you to write the NCLEX, like a date which you're comfortable with, of which myself actually I'm planning on getting 3 months because I'm really afraid.
Oh, you are planning to write after 3 months?
I'm afraid.
Why?
It's really tough.
I thought you were attending the classes. You should be okay.
I did. But then the challenge now is coming to say, okay, so like, you know, there was this other mentor. I've actually become close to her. We really talk a lot. So she was like, came with me. I took 2 months.
Yeah.
And then I went to read the test. I passed. So I was like, if you took 2 months, I'm taking 3 months.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So at least I should read. I really need to read. Okay. Because I don't want to do it 3 times or 4 times like the other guys. I just want to do it once and for all.
Yeah, I understand. I totally understand.
Yeah. So from the NCLEX now, from the exam now, I think that's when you write the English test, which actually they say they're going to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you have not gotten to the stage of writing the English test yet?
No, not yet. I think it should be after NCLEX.
Okay. And let's talk expenditure. So far, what did you spend your own money on?
Okay, so for now, since I haven't sent the documents, but then it's just, so you actually just spend your money on 4 things. Mm-hmm. But then all these monies, they're refundable. Because the first one is sending the fingerprints back to Idenko.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is for you paying the licensing body in your country for them to send the documents to the CGSNF.
Yeah.
As well as the university, they have to send the transcript to the CGNSF, so you have to pay them as well.
Yeah.
So the other amount maybe is coming in because they said, for example, like I'm in Malawi, I have to write my NCLEX in South Africa. So they're going to book for me the flight and the hotel, whatever. But then the transport now for me to go from the hotel to the center where they write the exam, I have to use my own transport.
Okay. So there's no IELTS center in Malawi?
No, the NCLEX center. IELTS center is there, but then the NCLEX center.
Oh, the NCLEX center is in South Africa.
The nearest part is South Africa.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of questions, because the thing is we do get questions, and ideally instead of me answering those questions, I wanted someone that is sort of like busy with the process to answer them, so that people can get experience from it. And since you said you love talking, so this is your moment.
Yeah.
I think so. So what else is coming next? What is coming next? I know that you have to write your NCLEX. When are you planning to write your NCLEX?
I'm thinking of June.
Are you done with the classes?
Yeah, I think I'm sorry. Yes, we are done, but then actually not yet, because I have to book a test for the classes now, because we are supposed to write an exit exam.
Yeah.
So they told us that to book within the next 20 days. When you're ready, you have to write it. So I'm supposed to book for that test and then write the nursing Texas board.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, now I would say I'm done with the classes and the Texas board, and then I would just have to be studying for the NCLEX.
Just for the NCLEX. And at the moment, you're not doing anything else. You're sort of like focusing all your attention on passing your NCLEX.
But then, of course, now that's not the plan, because the plan is after the classes, I have to at least look for some peace jobs, so that I don't forget my ward stuff, so that I don't forget my skills. So that's the plan. Definitely. I just wanted first of all to write these exams, like the exit exam and the Texas board, and then whilst now I'm waiting for the NCLEX, I can be doing some peace jobs somewhere.
Okay. I think that those are probably the only questions that I had sort of like prepared for you. If in case there is any other information that you think will be useful for, let's say, for someone that is just starting their process now, what do you think that will be? Let's say, for instance, I'm just signing up now. I submitted my CV. It got screened. I do meet the criteria, which is, I have not qualified over 10 years. I'm in a hospital that has at least more than 25 beds, and I'm involved in acute care right now. What advice would you give to them now, or at least if you were to start off your process now?
Okay, so my advice would be try with NCLEX, because I'm going to talk with my own experience.
Yeah.
So apart from NCLEX, okay, I'm this girl who love to explore stuff, especially on the internet.
Yeah.
So I explored like a lot of agencies. If I say a lot of agencies, I really mean a lot of agencies.
Yeah.
But then when you look at the benefits now, NCLEX actually is way better.
Connections.
Because even here again in Malawi, we have but this other the edX team, the edX agencies, who is working with somebody here.
Mm-hmm.
But then now when you look at the benefits, Connexus actually is much better than edX. Okay. So I'll just say try it with Connexus, because I think it's worth it. Plus the time which we have to work for them, it's much lesser compared to the other two, because the other guys, they go for 2.5 years something.
Mm-hmm.
Of which with this one, I think is it 6,000 hours or so?
Yeah.
Of which it's not even coming up to. It's not even coming up to those years.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, 6,000 hours.
Yeah.
That's it.
So like actually they don't put a rope around you like the other agencies, like what they're doing.
Okay.
So I think that's the advice that I would give. You know, just like you have just to, of course I'm still as well in the process.
Yeah.
But then yeah. So it's just a matter of just trying it out. You know.
Yeah.
And then just having faith that everything will work out. Because apparently, actually, what I love most is the NCLEX coaching, because the mentors are really good. Like they are really, really good. Like actually there's some things that I didn't know of. But then now, you know, like whenever like I'm practicing even some of the questions, I'm able to answer them. Because we've done the thing. Only that I'm fearing the NCLEX exam. Yeah.
Some people say it's quite easy though, especially a few clinicians that went through the process and written the test. Some of them will tell you that no, it's fine. You know, if you are practicing and you've been doing the things for years, then it's okay. Some people are like, it's a bit difficult. But as you said, it depends on your clinical setting as well. Depends on what you see on a day-to-day basis compared to, regions. Depends from which region you are, basically. Any advice on preparing for the predictor test? Since you've been there, you've passed it. What advice would you give to...
Okay, so let's say maybe if you're coming from Malawi, that we don't have... Okay, so the nursing in Malawi, it just concentrates on the nursing, like the general nursing. It's different from the USA nursing, whereby, for example, let's say on the laboratory results, in Malawi, we just know, say, okay, so these are the values, blah, 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 like you say, okay, the doctor or the physician actually going to take off it. Of which now when you go to the US nursing, you are supposed to know what to do with those values, Yeah. You're supposed to have everything in your tips, in your fingertips. You see? So usually those are most of the challenges, that here, this side, nursing is quite easier.
Yeah.
Unlike outside. Yeah. So I think my advice would be, when you're getting prepared for the predictor test, just read everything. Like, do everything.
Which is everything? What must they read? Like, for instance, let me give you an example. All right. You're about to say, yeah. Let's hear.
Okay. Like, I can just say everything that you're taught in nursing. Because... even in nursing as well, like they teach us to say, okay, so these are the laboratory results. When they're like this, you're supposed to do this. Read those stuff. Because actually, when I'm here, I actually sometimes don't even waste my time to read those things, because I go like, okay, this is the doctor stuff. Okay. But then okay, when I was doing the predictor test, I was like, I think when I go to US, I'm gonna become a doctor. Because okay, so you're just supposed to read everything, like literally everything.
That is good advice. Hopefully, any specific material that you used for preparing.
Yeah, there's this other website. It's called nursePlusAcademy.com.
nursePlusAcademy.com.
Yes, okay. It's actually, it brings, so there's the premium and the free part. Yeah. So it has a lot of questions, like usually most of them, they mimic, some of the NCLEX stuff. So I just practice those. And the good thing is, whenever like you get the answer wrong, they give you the correct answer, then they explain like, okay, you're supposed to do this. So even if like when you go for the predictor test, it's kind of like easier, because you're actually used to the questions.
All right.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty much. I think we already touched on the interview, that the interview is pretty easy. I think those are the two daunting parts, mostly the predictor test and sort of what to expect after the predictor test, which I think we have already touched on. Unless you have anything else to add, I think that's it from my end. And Do you have anything else that you probably want to touch on that you think will be useful for other candidates to know or sort of like look into?
Not really, but then maybe I would just say, like what Ray Kapu said, we are working for the $250 per hour.
You're working for what?
For the $250 per hour. That's what Kapu said when he was teaching us for the NCLEX preparation.
Yeah.
He goes like, okay, we are working for the $250 per hour. So yeah, I think that's the advice. So it means you're just supposed to tighten up your socks, Yeah. You're supposed to pull your socks up. Yeah. So we have to tighten the bolts.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, Kimberly. All the best with the NCLEX exam.
Thank you.
I'm sure you'll pass. I'm confident you'll pass. Just obviously do the preparation and
you're praying for me.
Yeah, I'll add a prayer in there for you as well. Just hopefully that you do pass. But otherwise, if you do write your test, obviously we are working with a lot of candidates. I might not remember to message you, but please do get back to me and just say, hey, this is how it was. It will help a lot of candidates that are coming after you just to sort of like prepare well and make sure that they pass. Because I think it will be a life-changing opportunity, at least to work in a different country and be sort of like approved to work in a different country. So I am trying to, me and my team are trying to help as many candidates as possible, try and get them through the line and see how far they can go, really.
Yeah, and thank you so much for that. And so, okay, maybe I should also say, okay, so how about this friend of mine who failed the predictor test? Anything that you can do? Maybe for her to go take online?
Yeah, definitely. We can just add it up to our pipelines, and then we can submit her again, and then she can be considered, and then she can go through the process again.
So maybe I can give you a number. Is it okay?
Yeah, she can just message me on WhatsApp, email, send me a CV. We'll set it through the pipeline, and then she should get an email within this upcoming week to say, hey, this is and then hopefully she can try again for the predictor test. I'm sure she'll pass it this time around.
Yeah, and actually I have a lot of people want to join though. So maybe I'll just be forwarding them your numbers anyway.
You know what? I am planning to create a group. I have one group in Malawi already with few nurses, but I am planning to sort of like start a big group because I feel like, even if you have someone, you can just add them to the group. It should be an open group. How do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, that's actually a good idea because actually there are a lot of them, like really a lot of them. So, because apparently for now, I was just saying, okay, just go on the website, check for this agency, you find it there because I didn't know, like, okay, how should I,
Yeah, no, I totally understand because I'm sure there is also few people and I just want to put it out there because it's just that I'm recording this section that I'm going to share with few of the nurses that I'm in touch with, that we do not charge candidates. We do not charge you money for our services. We are just trying to help you as best as we can. And we are happy to answer any questions. So do not feel like, oh, what if I get charged for their time and, their services? No, you do not. We have an existing, agreement with Connexus. So no candidate, we do not ask for money from any candidate. And no matter what, we do not ask for any money. So it's just for us to help you and, ideally try and see how far you can go with your journey. So send them through. I'll be happy. They can contact us on the number or whatever. I'm happy to.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think I'll do that.
It's sad that it's really sad that Malawi is on the red list for the UK, but otherwise we do have a lot of UK vacancies that we are working on at the moment as well. And I have to be honest, probably like 60% of our candidates are from Malawi. I don't know how it ended up such.
Okay, where were you when where were you when I wanted to go to the UK? Okay, like there was a time when I really wanted to go to the UK.
Yeah.
But then I couldn't find any,
Yeah. To be honest, this is I don't know. I can't remember when Malawi was added to the red list, but we can't recruit from Malawi. We are hoping that Malawi can be removed from the red list since there is like an excessive number of nurses that the government cannot absorb. So we are hoping they will be removed soon, because there are a lot of vacancies in the UK, and I can't put you forward, even though we try the thing of referring candidates. Like, you can get your registration for the UK, and if you get your registration, you can find your own way that way. But I cannot actively recruit you from Malawi. I run risk of losing our license, because then
that makes sense.
Yeah, because otherwise what we can do is we can assist you get through the whole process, get your registration with NMC done. As soon as your registration is done, that's it. You can try and apply for private jobs, but not with NHS, because then the NHS can, obviously they are the ones that set up the rule to say that we cannot recruit from Malawi. They are under-resourced. So, yeah, basically that's why we can't recruit from Malawi.
Come on, under-resourced how? There are a bunch of nurses who are just sitting at home.
I know.
We can't even get jobs anyway.
I know. I understand that now, obviously, after having a conversation with the people. But in the UK, it's not like that. They don't understand it as such. So there is a need for nurses, but it's on the red list. Yeah.
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah, but the US is here, so try your luck. You are not spending any money. If you fail the predictor test now, come back after a week, send us your CV. We'll put you through the pipeline again. You write the predictor test. You do it again, even if you fail the third time, until you get it. It's for free. You don't lose any money. I don't understand why you just can't do it. Yeah. So. Yeah. But yeah. That's pretty much it. Thank you so much, Kimberly. I really appreciate your time. I hope we can chat very soon again. And have a good night.
And thank you as well. It was really fun.
I'm sure I will talk again. And please, if anyone wants the opportunity, just share the number. But as I said, I will share the group with you so that you can just share the link with them, and then we can see how far we run with it.
Okay. I think I'll do that.
Thank you very much, Kimberly. Have a good night.